was always like a Zen walk for me. Like it was nice and quiet. No one ever bothered me. And I did my best to be respectful of people's properties. So like I got to treat it like just like a business, you know? Well, I mean, it started off by just wandering around. And this is how I got to really know Portland was collecting bottles and cans. And what I've always appreciated about collecting bottles and cans is the hunt, essentially. I mean, when you operate a business, you have to know the ebbs and flows of your customers. You have to know when it's busy, when it's not. I was probably walking 4 to 5 miles per night, sometimes even more. When you're walking, like $30 in containers is a lot to carry. If it was a struggle, that means I did good, you know?
American waste pickers.
What is a waste picker?
You've probably seen them in your neighborhood.
But do you know what they really do? Who are they?
And how is it that they make the world a better place?
The International Alliance of Waste Pickers defines them as
Informal economy workers involved in the collection, sorting, transporting, and commercialization of discarded materials for recycling or reuse.
in the United States. We may not always see ourselves as having a thriving waste picking economy, but it's actually one of the most fascinating and misunderstood areas of our culture and economy. So come with Ground Score Association as we explore the world of American waste pickers.
I did that for like 3 or 4 years, and I went from making like $5 every couple hours to, by the time I was done, I was making $80 to $100 a day, and I could do that within 3 to 4 hours. Like I really had mastered my craft.
It actually is beneficial to learn your different types of metals, what their rates are, and where to take them, because it could actually make you pretty much change in your pocket there. I used to do it. We used to make $300 to $400 a day.
Being a waste picker is a way of freedom. Actually, it's almost like, and actually is a way to get back on your feet when you don't have anything else. Can't get a job because of whatever reason. You can just go waste pick and actually function. So being a waste picker to me is it's a welcome back into being a productive citizen in society.
Unfortunately, here in North America, people who collect bottles and cans for income are kind of looked down upon as not being considered workers, essentially. Not in the eyes of the government, not in the eyes of regular people. It was a little demeaning for me at first, but I did feel good about the work. It still felt better than holding a sign and begging or stealing for what I needed. Because for years I struggled with not being part of this. I felt locked out. I felt like there was way too many barriers to jump over for me to live a normal life.
When I discovered dumpster diving, it was awesome. I really enjoy being able to do things frugally, and I also enjoy the challenge of having narrowed options so that you have to use creativity a little bit more. And like, who doesn't like getting free stuff?
Waste picking in Portland is honestly, it helps me feed my kids. It's really literally helping me take care of my children, and myself for that matter. So waste picking in Portland has been a blessing to me. I was sleeping under the Steel Bridge, homeless, and I returned cans up there. That's where the depot used to set up, at the Steel Bridge.
Ground Score is a collectively organized group of informal recyclers, canners, and waste pickers in Portland, Oregon. We create low-barrier employment opportunities for people facing housing and work insecurity. Since our founding in 2019, we have grown to formally employ 62 people, with about 90% being currently or formerly houseless. Since joining Ground Score, over 80% of our unhoused workers have secured housing. Our mission is to build environmental and social awareness while changing society's perceptions of who and what is considered valuable. proving that investing in marginalized communities creates meaningful change for both people and the environment.
So I was an activist for housing justice and then needed housing justice myself. So, and I have always been in supported employment, and I ended up on the Walk to Salem with Housing Justice, where I met Barbie and a lot of people who work at Ground Score. And as they set that up, I had been coming to meetings, so I just was kind of a fan.
Being able to come here and help other people gain footing to an understanding of what they need to do to help them change their lives, and set an example by me being here and telling them what I've done actually has changed my life greatly.
It's not just a job for me, it's a community. And it's a community that works together. We all try to promote each other to do better in our lives and to stay off the streets and off the street drugs and work together as a team. That's something I haven't experienced in my life in over 2 decades. I love it.
I have stable housing at a place where I can actually have a garden. I can eat healthy now than I could before because I can actually afford that now.
Ground Score has improved my life as a sense of just more community. I'm more, I'm able to work around people more, talk to people more, and it's given me a sense of just, consistency of just learning to be more consistent, in my daily life.
The more honest you are, the more you show up to help others, the more that you can get strained out. And so I feel like it's a fit to have something that involves all the people in helping our community. One of the most important parts of Ground Score is that it evolves and it finds needs and people come up with it themselves, and we can grow limitlessly. I really believe that.
In some states, like New York, there is a handling fee, which has enabled waste pickers to organize and operate their own depot to provide jobs for waste pickers. In Oregon, there is no handling fee, so there is no incentive for anyone to run an independent depot. But waste pickers from Ground Score negotiated to fund us to operate our own depot.
The People's Depot, short answer, it's a community asset for no matter what side of the table you're on, whether you're a worker at the depot or whether you're bringing in cans. You know what I mean? It's a win-win situation. And the thing about the depot is a lot of our customers live by bottle drops, and yet they still come way over to the depot. And that's what I mean by community asset, And some of them driving cars and they got to put gas in the car, they still come to the depot. So that's what we do, and we're there for them because they're there for us.
So the People's Depot is a canner-run beverage redemption center designed for canners by canners. Canners are people who collect bottles and cans for income, and we are a low-barrier job service for people who want to go from informal work into formal work. A lot of our workers that work at the depot are former canners or current canners who have had to rely on collecting bottles and cans in order to survive.
I remember feeling really excited, heading back to the spot with pockets full, and it was with valuable, usable items that we were able to use and enjoy and fill ourselves with, despite the fact that we didn't have an income that would otherwise allow us to enjoy it.
We're separating these so that way we can, Ground Score can take them to the laundry facility that we recently opened up and give them to the homeless in case they need any clothes or anything like that. That's another part of what Ground Score does as well, besides pick up trash.
In addition to the People's Depot and the Glitter Street Cleaning Program, Ground Score Association also runs a laundry facility and reuse and repair sewing program. Items gathered by our street cleaners are washed and redistributed or sent to be upcycled through our reuse program. In spring of 2025, Ground Score hosted a fashion show featuring entirely upcycled fashion pieces.
If we're able to see clothing that is upcycled, we're like, wait, what? that was made by like hand and also like by like materials found off the ground or by like something that I just threw away at Goodwill. Like, are you kidding me? Like, they were able to create that and make it into a textile for like what? Like, you know, it's crazy, but it's obvious that we are able to turn anything into something. And if we really put our minds to doing or creating, we have the opportunity to do it. So that's why I always advise people pick up a sewing machine, try to learn it, because if you're able to upcycle and like do something with fashion and incorporate it, because the fast fashion industry is literally on its last thread, like we need to cancel it as much as possible. It shows that there's so much community here in Portland, and that's all I ever want to see is community. And I felt like I created a community with this, and I felt like people up there felt like they were able to see the community that we all created together. It was such a magical show, and I just loved everyone who was a part of it, and I just loved everyone who came to see it. Like, I still am so blown away by just the execution and how everything went. But yeah, I was really excited, and like, I don't know, I was just so flabbergasted about everything. But when the actual show started and, you know, Ariel went, and then after it was like the transition of all of the artists, and you got to see the flow of each person.
Dumpster divers, waste pickers, homeless people, those all fall under the items to throw away, the not good, the dirty, preconceived notions. And it's because it is antithetical to capitalism to glean resources. I mean, you're putting in effort. It's not like you're not working. You know, to work is to move things around, and you definitely do that as a dumpster diver.
For ground school, I was in trouble most of my life when I was growing up. I was in trouble, and I'd been out for a little while. And when I met ground school, I go out on cruise 3 days a week, and I work in that warehouse, taking care of the property room.
They're like pieces of sunshine that just sparkles through the streets. And I say that because they're picking up trash, they're in a happy mood, they're singing songs, you know, together, and and everybody's just like very like humorously happy, and I like that. The crews, they're very thankful when we show up to pick up the trash. I feel like a family here, you know. I have my family, but I feel like if something happened out to my core family, like I can really lean on the people here. There's a lot of people here in recovery, and there's people that are active, but you know, like either way, it's all love here, and we're all understanding.
So there are approximately what they've been able to count, about 34 million waste pickers around the planet. And every continent, every country has waste pickers. If you think about waste picking and you think about the plastic pollution problem, waste pickers have recycled over 60% of the plastic that's ever been recycled. So then we come into the United States. The United States is, even though it's one of the biggest in the industrial countries, waste pickers are less recognized here. If we didn't have waste pickers, none of us would be here. None of us. Our planet would have collapsed in plastic a long time ago. Most people make about, I would say, on an average of $20 to $30 a day, which is about $3 to $4 an hour, because it takes you about 8 hours or so to make that amount of money. I can do it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or I can do it at 2 o'clock in the morning. So you know, when you're surviving day to day, you're not always, it's not like you can be on a schedule. So this type of work, you can just pick up and do it. And it's one of those jobs, really, if there's a way, and in every city, even if there isn't a bottle bill, there's a way to make money. We really wanted dignity added back to our work. We didn't want to be that dirty canner that somebody was pointing their finger at. We really wanted to show that we could contribute to the overall good of Portland, overall good of the state of Oregon, United States, internationally, that we contribute and our lives have meaning. A lot of waste pickers that I know around the world internationally are very moralistic people. Even though they come from such poverty, you know, they don't want a handout. They don't want to rob people. They have a lot of pride in what they do.
None of this stuff was stolen. None of this stuff was fucking harassed off anybody. This is all barter, exchange. I found all this shit next to trash cans. Sitting on the corner of the road, someone's old spot.
I can't take that experience of 40 years and knowing that material and go to a recycling center and get a job. They're gonna laugh at what?
Yep.
They're gonna laugh at me. You've been a canner for 40 years, we don't care. So it's only in the United States, to me it feels like only in the United States that our work, the work that we've done, no matter how long we've done it, will not transition us into a formalized job. And with GroundScore, that was what was big about GroundScore is we eventually wanted to be formalized. We wanted to be an organization.
You are called dirty, you are called lazy, you are called a thief. There's very few positive things that are correlated with waste pickers and dumpster divers.
I don't think the city's actually looking at all the parameters for what necessary to actually do this to all homeless people.
The city was just gonna leave us laying on the sidewalk with no shelter, nothing. And that you talk, that ain't caring for your fellow citizens. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're not trash. We're humans like anybody else, like any city worker. You know what I mean? We all deserve to be treated equal.
They're going so heavily after everybody right now. They kind of have to come after us.
When I came up here to Oregon, it was so in the past I have suffered from domestic violence, and in order for me to get away from a perpetrator, I would have to go to a different state. It was that severe. I lost my phone. I couldn't get hold of my family. I don't know anybody here, and so I end up on the street. I really thought I was not gonna make it. I really thought like my life is over. I have Usher syndrome, and what it is 1 out of 100,000 people gets it. And God blessed me to have that, because if I don't want to hear anything, I can just turn my hearing aids off. If I don't want to see anything, I can just turn my head. It can be good and it can be bad in a way, but there's no cure for it, okay? And it's gonna get worse. And by making it worse, it's from stress. And so I have to meditate and try to be in peace as much as possible so I can hold on to the vision that I have. I still want to see my son graduate from high school, see him get married, able to see my grandchildren. I would love to have all that. So God is slowly taking it away from me. But I'm still blessed and grateful that I'm still able to wake up every day. After I found out all the waste pickers, all this information I'm getting from them, I'm shocked how many pounds of litter that they gather. And I'm so grateful that there is Waste Picker, there is nonprofit organization, GroundScore, Northwest Waste Picker Alliance, NAPA, that's what they go by. All this nonprofit organization trying to make a difference, trying to do their best, trying to recycle. That's what we need. We need to recycle. We need to be community oriented and help each other.
GroundScore has helped me, I'd say, grow up and be able to communicate with people more, because I normally don't like to communicate. I talk with people because I'm not really trustworthy. I don't trust people because they always let you down. But they've taught me patience and how to communicate and how to socialize and help people in the community.
GroundScore Association is proof that investment in American waste pickers yields results. The People's Depot has recycled over 10 million beverage containers, preventing the equivalent of almost 3,000 tons of CO2 from entering the environment. While the Glitter program has removed over 3 million pounds of trash from the streets of Portland, Oregon. We're getting the work done, but we are also building community.
I didn't come to GroundScore just for a paycheck. I came looking for hope. I've experienced loss, abandonment, disability, and survival on the edge. I've cried under the stars, sleeping where no one should have to, praying for something to change. Then GroundScore appeared in my life like a divine appointment. A space where people saw me, not just my struggle, a space where I could give back, build community, and find meaning again. So when I talk about GroundScore, I'm talking about redemption. I'm talking about awakening. I'm talking about the power of love to rebuild what was broken.
We are a group of people that many thought, and perhaps even still think, lack of value. We are here for the environment, here for the city we live in. Like every other waste picker organization, we are here for each other. It's not just a job, not just environmental stewardship. It's community.
It was just like a lifeline, dude. I mean, I didn't have anything else, literally, except my buddies that slept in the same camp.
You worked for Ground Score in the past?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah, I love Ground Score.
You like working for
They're
them?
great.
I did not feel judged for being homeless for the first time since I had become homeless again in 2020. I felt like we were part of a community, and that was something that was lacking, especially during the pandemic times.
Yeah, it's helped me out because, I mean, I'd probably be out on the street if it wasn't for Ground Score.
So I feel that Ground Score is the right solution. It's something that has been kind of bubbling up in my presence for, I guess it's been 15 years. So it just feels right. And that's why I feel at peace. And then all of the other things that I deal with are calm enough that I can actually work.
I think the Ground Score is the organization that, besides just is doing a service for the city, actually cares about the people in the community. They've helped lots of people since I've known them, and I've seen them get involved in things that other people wouldn't to help people.
I love it. It gives me a meaning, a purpose in my life where I didn't have one. Ground Score has changed my life.
Being able to plan for my future has been very motivating for me. I have a 401k now. I have my own vehicle, I have my own apartment. I'm not allowing my past to be a barrier to my future. And I do have Ground Score Association to thank for that.
Ground Score has given me a better life, a mission, give me hope. Because when I was here, I felt lost. I felt hopeless. I felt abandoned. And I felt like I was going in the gutter. But Ground Score, opened the door with the arms open and with no judgment at all. And I'm very grateful for that.
We are Ground Score Association, and we are American waste pickers.